BMC have agreed to work with us to come up with ideas, tools, which can then help inform what might be relevant for different population groups in Lambeth towards healthy lifestyle.
My name is Iris Hornefeld. My background is I'm a dietitian, and my field of work has been mostly in community-based programs. So some of the things we've heard from previous research are things like blood pressure, cholesterol, sometimes things like diabetes, and there's quite a number more, but it's really up to you to think about that, what's relevant to you. We should be eating more than one portion of for meals and to include a snack. So we should be eating it throughout the day and quite in fairly large amounts. So if you're going out shopping and you're thinking about, is this something I should be eating more often or less often, a very quick way to think about it is as a red food. Anywhere where you see a red on those type of labels is an instant red.
See, we kind of can remember. All right, so Iris, I'm going to hand over to you.
The traffic light system, because I've got Sainsbury's on my doorstep, and it very much informs what I buy and how I eat. And I always tend to go for the green, never the red, maybe the amber, but never the red.
Is salmon unhealthy because it has red on the traffic light labels?
Is this one of the sort of common sense ones?
Yeah.
In moderation, okay.
So, is it red? Let's think about that. It's red because it's quite high in fat, but the fat in it is a healthy fat. It's heart protective, omega-3. Having a small portion once a day counts towards our fruit and vegetable intake. So, a small amount in a day is fine. 125 mils counts as a portion of your fruit and vegetable intake. But if you have more than that, you don't get extra benefits. Alcohol is similar to a sugar, and it breaks down similar to sugars. So it can have a bad impact on our blood sugar levels, and it can also affect our livers. So if we drink consistently, if we drink quite a lot, even if it's now and then, it can have a negative impact on our health. In terms of the alcohol, the guidelines are maximum 14 units per week for men and for women. And it shows you that equates to 6 pints of beers or 6 glasses of wine or 40 shots of spirit. We can think about labels a little bit more and what they mean. So for example, if you're reading the ingredients list, there might, sort of the first few things that are listed, that's in the most of what's in the food you're looking at. So if we look at the sugar and we think about highly processed, ultra processed foods, low fiber, that's quick release. Let's say some bread, even though that's got some rye and some grain in it, you can see it's starting to break down and dissolve relatively quickly. So that might, something like this, it's not really breaking down. So the less processed, the more whole grain something is, the more slowly a starch will, or a sugary food like fruit will release its sugars into your bloodstream. And that
we're going to talk about irregular sleep. So how long it takes you to fall asleep can sometimes be a really good indication of how much sleep are you getting enough sleep. So what we've got here, if you've got irregular sleep or not enough sleep, and we can talk about how much that might be, you might wake up and not feel fully charged, yeah? So you've got high fatigue, which means you're not necessarily wanting to do lots of activity, physical activity, correct? If we now move on, and we started to talk about hormones, didn't we? Talked about insulin. So we're going to introduce you very briefly, not to go into too deep, but just to say there are 2 other hormones that then become relevant. Now, leptin here, the hormone that inhibits feeling of hunger, it kind of tells you to stop, you don't need to keep eating, is reduced if you don't get enough sleep. The second one is ghrelin, and that's the hormone that tells you that you need to eat, so it's the go. Okay? If you don't get enough sleep or if you have irregular sleep, that one is increased. So you've got a bit of a double whammy. You've got a reduction in leptin and an increase in ghrelin. So if we go on from that, you're going to want more, and that's going to lead to weight gain. But for those people that are ending ending up overweight, this is the explanation.
Right.
So on average, 7 to 8 hours is a good amount, and up to 9 is also okay. But more than that means is an indication that there's probably it might be this, and you're feeling that extra tired. So the next slide. So what can affect sleep? We asked a few questions, and you're right about the caffeine, definitely.
Sleep.
Oh,
It's
love for years.
love.
It's a love and hate relationship.
It's
I was
more,
gonna
it's
say-
more love for me, it's from him.
Way from expressing his.
He thinks there's some balance, right?